Hello everyone, welcome Sue family to another stream on this beautiful day. My name is Kevin Sue, but you guys already know that. Thank you for joining us and welcome. Hello, Noxy, you're first, Random second, Ren Queen, you're third. At least in regards to who typing in chat there, 1, 2, 3. We do have those redeems, of course. Welcome in. And you're welcome to join us. Hello, Shadow, Rexz Girls, Gooey Your Harp, good to see you. Chicken Man, Berserker, Ray, hello, welcome everyone. How's your style seem to your streams, Ray? Everything, you like it? I didn't have anything that might fit for being like a judge. Right, I didn't have like a judge outfit, so I figured something going a little bit more serious, a little bit black, you know, that kind of thing here. So yeah. Katie, welcome in. What are you booing for? What you booing for? I'm right. No, I'm kidding, I don't know there. In regards to the actual first, second, and third redeems, we got Red Queen first, Random is second, and third is Shadow. So yeah, good to see you guys there. It's a scary boo. Oh, I see there. I'm scared there. Hey, you know, whatever works, Ray. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. You do you. Today, guys. Today we have a special event today. It's a lore event. That's right. We're doing some lore. The lore. And if you guys if you guys are into the lore, you know that we recently elected President Rexz Girls to president and she's president for about 60 days, 2 months, about 8 weeks. 8 weeks is really just the way of saying it. And well, it just so happens that Emperor Vader, who came in second in the election, right? It was mainly a 2-person race. There's actually 3 people, but it was mainly between 2 people. Is challenging Rex's hold on power, and is impeaching her. And so now we have a bit of an impeachment trial. The Constitution kind of lets anyone do impeachment trials, so that's great. We changed the Constitution from my beautiful document, beautiful government set up, to whatever this wonky thing is that Den put together. So, I mean, the voters approved it. The voters approved of the Constitution, and well, we just have to follow it. So I got that document right up here. Got the document here. I'll link it. If anyone wants to cry. Wow, Den, this is your fault. If Rexz gets impeached because of you, this is your fault, Rexz. I mean, this is your fault, Den. This is it. That's the Constitution. This is a document that we are living and breathing by, that I have to make a decision here because apparently that's my job. No, yeah, Gooey Harp, it's a YouTube chat. I can see it, just nobody else is in there. Gooey Harp there, just you there. Yeah, you're on the lore stage. Yeah, I got you. Hey, David, welcome. Yeah, it's too bad about Matt Pat, but hey, you know what, Shadow, I'm sure someone else will take his place. Hello, Mr. Mance, thank you very much. I'm glad you liked the look there. So, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out what's going on here. Who knows who's president? Who knows who's gonna be president? It could be you. It could be me. It could be somebody that doesn't exist. So that's what we're gonna do here. Let's go ahead and get onto the what we're gonna get on the loft. We'll get into the lore chat.
Hey, that's on you.
Okay.
Kevin Sue is in the audience. Gotta drag him up here. Hi, Kevin. How you doing?
I've been invited to speak. I'm invited to speak.
Yes, on your own stage. I know. I took care of everything.
On my own stage. Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
Did I make you guys mods or something?
Everyone who has Stream Moderator and Discord Moderator
good to see
is stage moderator by default.
Yeah, there's YouTube chat, Gooey Harp. I can see YouTube chat.
I mean, it makes sense for me to have it since I'm Chief Moderator.
Can you just not hear me on YouTube? Okay, let's just go ahead and say hello.
David, you should probably be the...
Let's go say hello.
Oh, yes.
Hello, everyone. The world
I'm gonna head over to Kevin
is your oyster. Find your pearl.
Here we go.
Oh, you're not prepared?
Okay, there you go.
Hello, Kevin.
Oh, hello.
Hi, I see you were in the judge skin. Oh, a green tie. Can't you change that?
You don't like my tie? Huh?
It's green. I'm not a big fan of green.
I mean, I thought you love green. I thought you love green.
Kevin's entire background color is green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now what you're talking about?
I tolerate it.
There's a good friend of ours that is very into green. Did you know that?
Goofer the Green?
Goofer the Green!
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Goofer the Green loves green. He's a big green fan. Did you know that?
Yeah. There's just a certain person that makes me not like green, okay?
David, I was thinking maybe you should apologize to Goofer again.
Okay, if my apology is not appreciated, I am doing mass amounts of deforestation.
You did kind of destroy his forest, maybe.
Well, yeah, but I also apologized formally.
Yeah, well, yeah, but but it wasn't heartfelt. It
was pretty heartfelt, I'd say, as well as it was formal.
Maybe you needed something a little more informal, a little bit more from the heart, from in here,
I mean, if my apology is not going to be appreciated, then I might as well do mass amounts of deforestation, I'm
pretty sure that's not the lesson that we learned here, a few weeks ago. But anyway,
all right.
Where's the trial?
Well, so you do /P warp court.
There's no jury. It's only Kevin. Kevin's the judge.
Yeah. Someone wrote this constitution so that I just have so much judicial power and authority.
Someone wrote this constitution so that there's no judicial system at all.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're gonna cry
Okay. Is everyone ready? I'm just gonna make sure we're ready first before we start.
Yes. Actually, hang on. Should we all do it?
Kevin, you're supposed to come out of heat.
That's what I was thinking. I'm supposed to come out over the side or something. Yeah.
You're supposed to come out of here, actually, Kevin.
Oh, okay.
I'm
sorry.
For
okay.
All of you. Wait, don't.
Well, how am I supposed to get in here before the court? Oh my goodness.
Takes a second.
You didn't change the skin beforehand? You can just change the skin and then immediately relog and that's immediately applied. Come on.
It's a cat and a cat.
I didn't know that.
This is
That's
meta. This is meta right here.
That's how I quick change.
I don't know what LofCon is. We're currently doing a trial there. Hey V, good to see you. How you doing?
Hold up. Okay.
Is this supposed to mean anything? It's supposed to mean that the government
waiting
is within the law. Everything is within the law. This is what this means. Everything is within the law of itself. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm good.
Chicken man, you're not supposed.
Yeah, this is my chambers. Apparently, I'm a big reader. I guess this is my legal chambers. Actually, this room is kind of used by everyone.
Please hold music. That was.
Wow, is that a hamburger? Wow. We just got kind of everything here. We got food. We got books.
So Chicken Man, please take a seat.
3, 2, 1, go. All right, now we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, is everyone ready?
Yeah. You could do.
I'm ready.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Kevin Sue. That's when you open the door again.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Okay, we are here for a important decision regarding the Sioux Republic and its leadership, as brought forth by the litigant Emperor Vader against the defendant President Rexz Girls. We are here to decide. Whether or not the Constitution has been violated, and if so, who might in fact be the president of this nation. Of course, I imagine that both of you have come prepared, given your many weeks of time to put together your notes due to certain circumstances. If anyone who is not in the audience but wishes to join us, in order to join, you have to type something.
/P warp court.
/P warp court should be fairly easy. P warp court. Okay, I will go ahead and begin by making sure that both sides are ready. Defendant President Rexz says, "You and your team, are you ready?"
Yes.
Okay, and litigant. Emperor Vader, are you and your team ready?
Yes, we are.
Very well. Both sides are ready. We will begin with opening statements, starting with the litigant side.
Alright, give me just 1 second to find the notes. I'll just walk up here. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David, one of the attorneys here today on behalf of the prosecution. It is my solemn duty to represent the people of the Sioux Republic this Saturday, March 9th, 2024. Our team is committing to highlighting the reality of the situation which has brought us here. The defendant, Rexz Girls, is accused of having violated constitutional laws, and it is our assessment that there is undeniable proof of their guilt, which will be presented to the court today. Your Honor, the matter of the fact is this defendant has become a danger to this very nation with their blinding crave for power. The evidence which we submit on this day shall show without a doubt that Rexz Girls not only violates constitutional law willingly, but has less interest in the well-being of their constituents and more desire for their own personal whims.
You know, David's
we will present witness testimony, numerous records, and possibly more should be the fine.
David's head
and possibly more should the fine court allow us to shine the light on the defendant's misdeeds. At the conclusion of the case, we would ask you to find the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. That the impeachment, at the very least, would be pursued for the sake of justice for our great and prosperous nation. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Noble, for the follow. Appreciate that. Thank you, litigant, for your opening statement. Very well. Defendant, your opening statement.
Okay, so, hello, guys, gals, non-binary pals. I am the representing lawyer of the defense, Denribe D. Meme, and...
Yeah, it's an impeachment trial.
I'm blanking. Alright, hang on. So...
Okay.
To begin, the... Yeah, that's nice, Bert. Alright. We are here to prove that Rexz has not, that my client, Miss Hatake, did you inherit Senshi's last name? Or
no, I did not.
Miss Girls, Mrs. Girls, that she has in fact not violated the Constitution due to the fact that she is not the president.
See, that's an argument.
Yeah, you can check that off your bingo card, David.
There's multiple arguments that can be made here.
I mean, I'm sorry, Mr. Plays 1870. Anyway, so
I know
we are here in the proceeding of this trial. We will be presenting evidence that, as a matter of fact, Bob is the president and not Mrs. Girls, not my client. Yeah, I don't yap, unlike Mr. Plays 1870. Anyway, that's it.
Okay, thank you so much, defendant, for your statement. Obviously, I've stated before that there are multiple arguments that could be made from multiple viewpoints, and I'm interested in hearing your thoughts before making a decision from a legal standpoint in relation to the Constitution. As has been inquired, we are not here to establish guilt or non-guilt. This is not a trial of a criminal trial. This is merely a legal trial of constitutionality, whether or not Constitution has been violated and who has power. And that is simply my decision to make, because that's apparently what the Constitution says. Okay. Litigant, it is up to you to prove the Constitution has been violated, and if so, by what means. So you may begin with your arguments.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I would like to start this case with making a motion to reinstate Rexz as president, as transferring the power to Bob was never in her power to begin with, as stated by the Constitution of the Sioux Republic. The president cannot create or appoint any in-government positions. Transferring her power to Bob is the equivalent of appointing an in-government position, so she couldn't do this.
So your argument then would be that because Rexz has transferred power to Bob...
Who was appointed? I'm sorry. Bob is
Bob.
nobody. Nobody. Bob doesn't exist. Bob is nobody. Nobody was appointed.
Right, then nobody holds the power. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That is a valid argument, litigant. Is Bob, who is nobody, is a non-being, does the fact that Bob is placed in the position of power, does that constitute an appointment by the president?
Your Honor, if I may.
Thank you very much for the follow. Yes, of
So,
course. Welcome.
by
Thank you,
attempting to
strange
transfer
gamer.
her power to a non-existent being, does that not mean that the power has not been transferred to anything at all?
And what relevance does that have?
Well, if her power was transferred to nothing at all, that means she technically still holds the power, as she didn't transfer her power to anything to begin
Mr.
with.
Duels, the transfer, Your Honor, the transfer of power is prohibited. That is never. The transfer of power is never mentioned in the Constitution. I would know as the author.
That is true. You are the author of the Constitution.
And another thing, may I bring up a piece of evidence?
Yes, of course.
Okay, hang on. I need to scroll up in the court case real quick. We have, during the act of transferring power at the ball, I will DM this to you, Kevin, so you may play the clip. During while the transfer of power, the litigant, Mr. Valentine, has in fact approved of the transference of power.
Okay. Do you want me to go ahead and play the clip?
Yes.
Okay, give me a second. Oh, that's not right.
I DM'd it to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to,
Okay.
I see what I need to do here. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and play this for evidence to everyone. This will be on the stream, so anyone who's in the chat, you won't be able to hear it, but the stream will.
Excuse me, but can Bob even be president? Bob is non-existent, as has been confirmed many times.
And like it's the what I said. I mean, I'm the president. Of course, I can now then transfer
Look,
the power. Right?
I don't
Of
know who
course.
this. I don't know who this Bob is, but you know what? Sure, they can hold the presidency for a bit until we figure this out.
That's
Rexz, you're staying
that's
here.
not.
I
Excuse me, but can Bob even be president?
We'll watch
Bob
him
is
over time.
non-existent, as has been confirmed many times.
And like it's the what I said. I mean, I'm the president. Of course, I can now then transfer
Look,
the power. Right?
I don't
Of
know who
course.
this. I don't know who this Bob is, but you know what? Sure, they can hold the
No.
presidency for a bit.
I'm pretty sure the clip is
until
over.
we figure
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
May I also mention that it is up to the demands of the imperial representative, this instance also being the emperor, that Mr. Valentine did in fact approve of this, meaning that
Hey, Dougie, good to see you.
Bob is the president. And during the arguments made in the debates happening was around about the time in which it was thought that my client was president. where the demand was made to who wasn't the president. And I have seen the message, if I may read aloud what the message is.
I'd like to hear about this, because I haven't heard anything about this demand. Yeah.
Mr. Valentine said on the 23rd of February at 2:51 Eastern Time, I demand that you, as President of the Sioux Republic, inform your citizens that you fully support the Chicken Empire and their wars with the OMS and the Woodland Nation. Following that statement, you will declare Republic formally at war with those two entities, and all capable warriors of the Republic will join the Empire in the wars.
Objection, Your Honor. When did this become the defendant's turn to speak?
This is unlike a criminal trial.
I'll put it in the lore chat.
Unlike a criminal trial, this is sort of.
I'm just gonna put it in the Minecraft chat. There we go. There's
a trial. One moment, Dan. This is sort of a trial in which you will take turns discussing certain issues that have been brought up by either side regarding the trial. Obviously, now that Dennis said that, you will have the chance to discuss your position on what he's brought up. But obviously, you have a chance to interject if you want, as long as you both do so in a how do I say this? A cooperative or polite manner. Polite may not be the right word. Orderly manner. Then it should be fine to proceed in this pace. Unlike a criminal trial, which is one side and then the other. This is a little bit more of a constitutional issue. Yeah.
Yeah. So before I was interjected, I was going to mention that the prosecution may bring up the fact that this message is quite vague in terms of who it's directed towards, although since it is in the second person. But actually, hang on, Rexz, was this in DMs?
Yeah, it was.
It was in DMs, so it was not directed towards Bob, who is the current reigning president.
I see. So your argument is that, if I understand this correctly, that Emperor Vader, as the representative of the Chicken Empire, gave a demand to Rexz, and you're saying that and let me ask the litigants this: did Rexz Girls deny this request?
Yes, she did indeed deny the request.
Okay, so you're saying that Rexz Girls, after denied the request, but because Rexz Girls wasn't president at the time, you're saying that Bob was president. This doesn't trigger the part of the Constitution that states that if let me read this actually. If the president breaches the restrictions set forth by the Constitution, one of the restrictions being that the that the opinions of the Empire must be taken into account and respected, failure to enact their demands can result in impeachment, and the next president candidate in line will be elected. You're saying that Rexz Girls no longer doesn't qualify under that term because Rexz Girls was not president.
Yeah.
Okay. And litigants, do you have any response to this?
Yes, Your Honor. If Rexz was indeed not the president at this time, then why would she answer as if she were?
We have a very simple answer to this. It was a misinformed testimony.
Could you elaborate on that?
Rexz was there was a little bit, I will admit that there is a lot of nuance to this. Of course, that's why we're having this trial.
It's true.
On its own. And at the time, Rexz was convinced by parties like Ascendo, David, and I believe you, because you also called it into question, that she was president. And after speaking with her legal team, me and Mrs. Dasuki, we have came to the conclusion that she is not the president, and that's why we're having this trial. So simply her talking about and saying that she was the president does not make her president. I can say that I'm the president right now, but that's just a misinformed testimony.
Very well. you have a response to this, litigants? Hey, that's me right there in the thing.
No.
Okay, litigants, why don't we go ahead? Do you have you have obviously the defendants have taken a lot of time. I want to give you a chance to bring forth any arguments that you might have.
Yes. Can I just have a second to confer with my co-counsel?
No, absolutely. Feel free to. The this is a very interesting. This is a very interesting situation. So the treaty, the Constitution says that the president has to listen to the Chicken Empire, but from their representative. It actually gives more power to the Chicken Empire than my original Constitution, which is kind of interesting. That Den kind of introduced that. If failing to listen to Chicken Empire results in impeachment, and then the president loses the presidency, and then the second place candidate would get the presidency, right? So if or whichever place is next in line, right? If there's like multiple people.
All right.
Yes, go
I
ahead.
would like to call Emperor Nerexius Quartus Valentine to the stand.
Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth and only the truth, so help you God?
I do indeed swear that.
Very well, you may proceed.
Mr. Valentine, for the court, please state your full name and your current line of work.
I am Nerexius Quartus Valentine. I've been, in my youth, I was a King's Guard to the King of Roth. Grew up in a noble family, House Valentine, that is. Served as King of House of the land of Roth and, after the rebellion, and then traveled to this land and was named Emperor of the Chicken Empire. I rule over a multi-continental empire, and I have been a proponent of peace, justice, and political administration is my forte.
All right, and is it true that you sent a message to the defendant Rexz girls regarding the subject of her telling the people of the Sioux Republic to aid the Chicken Empire?
That is correct. I can read the message to you, if necessary.
Yes, could you please read the message out for the entire court to hear?
Yes, I told President Rexz, I demand that you, as president of the Sioux Republic, inform your citizens that you fully support the Chicken Empire and their war with OMS and the Woodland Nation. Following that statement, you will declare the Republic formally at war with those two entities, and all capable warriors of the Republic will join the Empire in the wars.
Interesting.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine. Now, could you please read for the court what the defendant Rexz Girls' response to this was?
I can indeed. Let me go to that real quick. Rexz responded with sorry, can you show me where that is?
Yes, I will
In our
do that as
notes.
soon as possible.
Right.
Here we go, that.
Here we go. I've got it. Yeah. They said, "Take me to court over it," with an angry, but well, I assume the tone here is enticing, because they said they denied their presidential duty to the Republic.
I see. Could you please tell us what you responded with after this?
After they said that,
Kind of curious.
I said there will be no court hearing if no announcement is made within the hour. You will be impeached, and the presidential seat will go to me
Ooh.
because I was the runner-up of the election.
And do you feel that, according to the Constitution, Rexz Girls' response warrants impeachment?
By the law of the Constitution, that's exactly what it means, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Valentine. I have a few more questions I'd like to ask.
But furthermore, sorry, it not only violates the Republic's Constitution, but also the Treaty of Boston.
While I understand
Also,
that, oh, go on. Very well. I'll let you finish.
no. You go, Your Honor.
While I will admit that it's probable that such a thing might violate the Treaty of Boston, that document is not really at state here. Obviously, a violation of a treaty is of grave concern to national interests within multiple nations, but that doesn't necessarily relate to a constitutional crisis.
It relates to your constitutional crisis if you're a vassal of the empire.
Oh, I would definitely argue that your first point of Rexz violating a demand of the empire would potentially be a violation. I would say that a violation of a treaty is not necessarily related.
All right.
All right. Now, Mr. Valentine, do you know who Bob is?
I do not.
Have you ever believed Bob was qualified to be president at any point? If so, why?
I don't know the person. I don't know their qualifications. If what Denribe said is true and they don't exist, then there's nothing to be spoken of on them anyway.
All right. To your knowledge, has Bob ever respected the opinions of the Emperor?
No.
Have you at any point used the authority of the president prior or after? Wait. No, give me a second. I need to find a different thing here. Has Bob ever worked at an official capacity within the government beforehand? To your knowledge?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
How's that in relation to the Constitution?
Give it a second.
I will allow David to continue his questioning.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Valentine, I assume that you, as the rest of the court, saw the clip that was played of you approving of Bob's presidency.
Yes, for a short time.
Could you further elaborate on what your intentions were in this moment and what you really meant by that statement?
I said exactly what I really meant. I didn't quite approve it. I just said it was okay until we figure this out. And you know, that's exactly what I said.
All right, and in this context, what is this?
This refers to the issue we were having at the current time at the ball, where Denribe and Rexz were, particularly Denribe, was representing a threat, and we needed to resolve the issue of getting them out of the room and out of the Capitol before they caused any issues.
All right, and would you say that that issue has now been resolved?
Yes, it has. They have been banned from that land and the Republic's land.
Then would you say that by the direct words of your statement in that clip, Bob is no longer the president?
Yes, Bob was president for, I'd say, probably 20 minutes after that period of time because the issue was settled. So the non-existent being, according to Denribe, who can't be transferred power because they don't exist, quote unquote had power for 20 minutes, but that subsided right after.
Alright, then who would you, as the Emperor, say holds the power of the President in the Super Republic at this current moment?
By all laws of the Constitution, I would currently have the presidential authority in the Republic. But technically, Rexz would still have it, considering they won the election and they haven't formally been impeached yet, despite the fact that there's no, like,
Thank you so
stated,
much. Thank you so much, Queen, for gifting a tier.
way of dealing with that, I don't think. But yeah,
in chat.
Technically it's Rexz right now. It's supposed to be me.
I'm not sure that's a valid question, litigant, simply since the entire court case is to decide that very question.
Your Honor, I'd say it is a valid question, as the Emperor does, by the Constitution, have the authority to say whoever is the President, and that person is the President.
That's as of right now. We're talking about the past.
But that past held the same truth.
That you said right now?
Sorry?
Alright, I would like to read an excerpt from a conversation.
Is this related to the current line of questioning?
The current line of questioning being that who is president?
It'd be a little more related to Emperor Vader's answering of what David was asking. Yes. Who's president is sort of a very broad topic, given that's the entire court case.
Yeah. I would still, again, our entire argument is that Bob is not the president. In terms of Mr. Valentine's, how do I say it? Approval. That was a clip and an excerpt that we did use, and we did not have any further context that the prosecution does have. Yeah, well, prove that Rexz is not the president. Yeah, I get it, Rexz, right? Yeah. But we do have another excerpt of evidence to prove that Bob is in fact the president. And another thing is that there's a general misconception that I am, like, well, Bob is a figment of me, or like my imagination, or my whatever.
Let's get to that.
It's not.
Let's get to that argument a little bit later.
All right.
We want to just kind of focus on Emperor Vader, who's on the stand. David, you may proceed with your questioning, and afterwards we'll give the defendant a chance to question Emperor Vader.
All right. Wait, did you tell me to proceed with my questioning?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, you have declared that as of right now, Rexz is the president, correct?
Technically, yes.
When would you say that the power of the president went back to Rexz?
As soon as it was taken back away from Bob.
And when was that?
I would assume it was roughly 20 minutes after it initially occurred.
So would that mean that Rexz Girls, the defendant, held the power of the president at the moment of your asking or your request?
Ooh, valid.
Demand, actually?
Without a doubt, yeah.
All right.
And given that that context, nor was never established to us. It was never brought forward, and was purely internal to the Empire, specifically, or to the Emperor specifically.
You're saying then that the Emperor never verbally acknowledged these conditions of his statement, that nobody else would know, and therefore it wouldn't be a valid demand on the Republic.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I would like to say that since Mr. Valentine is the Emperor of the Chicken Empire, he doesn't need to verbally state it for it to be true, as that is not something that is specified. It is not specified anywhere in the Constitution that the I would ask you to not interrupt me, please. Thank you. It is not specified anywhere in the Constitution.
Order in the court. Order.
It is not specified anywhere in the Constitution that the Emperor's demands need to be verbally exclaimed in front of everyone.
I'm not saying that has to be verbally exclaimed. It needs to be known to the people.
On the topic of unknowns, who's Bob?
I have made very clear that Bob is a non-existent, I wouldn't say concept or entity, but Bob is a non-existent. I have made this very, very clear to everybody, Mr. Valentine, and yet somehow throughout two elections, one of which was a term was 8 weeks, and the current election, and the transference of power, and the entire preparations of this trial, you still have no idea who Bob is.
It seems like you're seeing shadows or ghosts, because if Bob doesn't exist, then you trying to claim that they are something means that you are at argument with yourself over what Bob really is. So there is no clarification, because there's nothing to clarify. So if there's nothing there in the first place, and there is a way to transfer power to nothing, which there is not, then Rexz was never not president, and they clearly randomly stated that they would give power to a non-existent nothing, in which case nothing happened. So Bob was never the president, because Bob doesn't exist.
Yeah, you still approved it?
And as we have stated, he approved it for the time being.
As we just said, as I just said, you yourself were providing a threat to the Empire at the very moment that happened. So I said, once we get this dealt with, I'll deal with that, and then I dealt with it. So this non-existent object you're putting forth gained something that they can't gain for 20 minutes, and then they lost it. And then it went back to Rexz, even though it couldn't go back to Rexz because it never went anywhere in the first place. Is that your whole argument? That something went somewhere that it can't go, and now it's coming back from somewhere it wasn't?
David, do you have any further questions for Emperor Vader?
Give me just 1 second to confer with my co-counsel if there's anything else we should ask.
Co-counsel's a chicken. Do you see that? It's the Chicken Empire. It's funny. Thank you again, Writing Quinn. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to give Den a sub. That's very, very, very sweet of you on everything. What we're going to need to do at some point, we're going to establish what facts that both sides agree on, and then we're going to have to come up to the key questions that need to be decided. Okay. Key questions including, does Bob, constitute a person, and can Bob gain power? 2, did the presidency... okay, go on.
No, I don't think we have any further questions, Your Honor.
Very well then. Defendant, you may question the witness.
I do not have any questions.
Very well. Emperor Vader, thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you.
Defendant, you were interested in bringing up some points earlier that we were not able to get to. Yes. Feel free to go ahead and bring those points up now.
Yeah, so I believe Wednesday? Was it Wednesday? Yes, on Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 9:31 p.m. A.m. Pacific time. After a bit of a debate between Ms. Tasuki and Mr. Plays 1870, you interjected on the Discord saying, "It's generally how constitutional governments work. People do things and it's generally accepted they can do them. If someone disagrees, they can file a court case. If the judge of the court case can then decide to impose an injunction or not. Since no court case was filed prior to the power transfer to Bob, an injunction would be pretty late, but also an injunction would require proof that stopping the transfer was necessary to prevent harm to further them. Neither side has asked for an injunction. That would not mean the judge doesn't have power to declare Bob's presidency invalid. It just means Bob is president unless determined otherwise in court." Was there any court case, or was there any court to determine otherwise?
This is the first court case that I am aware of regarding the constitutionality of the presidency.
As I stated earlier, I said I would like to make a motion to reinstate Rexz as the president and remove the power
Just
from
now?
Bob, a non-existent being.
So just now. You're making it a movement just now, which means...
I'd say
Which
30
means-
minutes ago
hang on,
and
let me
just
have
now
my
is a
pause
pretty
with
big
it.
difference there,
We
sir.
have... Oh yeah, sorry, 30 minutes ago. When was the message sent?
It was not a message. I stated it verbally in front of the court.
No, I'm not talking about yours. When was Noxie's message sent? Oh, sorry, Mr. Valentine's message sent.
What was it, a few weeks ago?
Yes.
February 23rd. A
Yes,
time
it
that
was sent-
was after my approval that you're arguing gives Bob legitimacy ceased. That period ceased
Was there
long
a court
before that
inside
message was sent.
Sorry, sir.
Was there a bill to be given?
You cut out.
Sorry, yeah,
Your
you cut
Honor,
out.
I'd argue that there need be no court case where if the Emperor so wishes, anyone could be president.
Did the Emperor
that is
publicly
within
state
there.
this?
Did I publicly say that after the issue was dealt with, that Bob would no longer be president? Yes, I did say that. In the
Directly?
clip you put forth. That was your exhibit.
Shall we run the clip again?
Your Honor, would it be possible to call Mr. Valentine up to the stand again, as I feel the defense seems to have questions for the litigant, even though they said they didn't.
That is a valid point, defendant. Are you interested in questioning Mr. Valentine?
No.
Then why are you questioning him now?
That's because he interjected.
You may
respond.
anyway. We were still on the defendant's arguments. You may continue.
Alright. Yeah. So there was. Hang on.
This is really
So the
interesting.
primary argument is there being that of you stating that Bob would only be president until it was dealt with, until I was dealt with. Yet we still had that idea and that argument and that nuance during the middle of this. That Bob may or may not have been the president. So I'm saying that there is still a whole lot of nuance regarding Bob Bob's president and the legitimacy of either Bob or Rex's president or Mrs. Girl's president. No one wrote Bob was president. Let me read up in the Minecraft in the government announcements real quick.
Let me just check the Constitution.
I'm not entirely sure about this. President Rexz has given her powers to Bob, who does not exist. I'm not sure that's constitutional. Yet we still have. Yeah, we are really having this case to figure out that that's constitutional.
What
So it was written that Bob was president. It was spoken, and while though immortalized, it was spoken and
Riding Crew for subbing. Appreciate that.
could be reinterpreted in many different ways, in which I would like to call your words unclear.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
You yourself being Kevin Sue, you do not have the authority by the Constitution to declare who is president, correct?
Yes,
outside of elections.
Outside of an election and outside of court cases, I do not have the authority to declare who president is.
So that would mean it's irrelevant that you state that that Bob would be president due to the power transfer, correct?
Any statements that I've made outside of those two situations would probably be considered opinion.
So, Danribe, are you trying to argue that because the judge Kevin Sue uttered his opinion that now makes the presidency of a non-existent being valid?
The Constitution is very pretty clear about me, right? I'm in charge of debates and ballots, and that I'm also in charge of impeachment stuff, I believe. Yep. So Section 2 says that I'm in charge of election results, Google Forms, debates, those sort of thing. And in Section 1D, the section right before that says that I'm in charge of the impeachments. To Kevin, right? Anything this fact we brought forward to anyone to Kevin, and the president will be impeached.
David,
Is it just me, or do I hear no nothing?
Is
Yep.
it?
Are you cutting up, Den?
No. Yeah. Many people seem to have. Hang on. Yeah, somehow many people seem to have thought it as the status quo,
What?
as a generally accepted. And again, no court has decided otherwise.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to?
Excuse me, I believe I've missed most of that statement.
If I understand you correctly, Den, you're saying that that the idea of Bob being president was accepted as the status quo by the majority of people,
Yes.
potentially also including myself, and that it was not rejected otherwise by anyone up until this court case.
Yeah.
Your Honor, if the general
Also,
population were to say that a potato is a tomato, would that make it true?
I imagine that Den's point is making
I believe that the name for potato would become tomato, yeah.
I imagine the point that Den's trying to make, saying is related back to his earlier argument, right? Of that since Noxie didn't verbally state that Bob wasn't president, that nobody knew that Rexz was still president at the time, and it was generally accepted. Is that
Yes.
correct? I see. So you're linking it back to the earlier argument.
Yes.
Litigant?
Yes. Just give me one short second to confer with my co-counsel. Yes, generally accepted does not equal correct, Your Honor.
Does being vague equal correct?
Well, when it comes to the word of the Emperor, it could.
As I see it, there are, from what you both have presented so far, there are two main arguments. One, does Rexz have the authority to transfer power to Bob in the first place under the Constitution? And number two, who, if so, if the first point is valid, if so, is Bob considered the president, and therefore any demands made on Rexz is invalid, or is Rexz considered the president, and therefore demands made on her are valid, thus coming to the crux of the situation. May I at least establish the fact that both sides agree that Rexz rejected Emperor Vader's demands to side. Okay, both sides can agree with it. Okay, so at least that fact can be established, which is reasonable, and doesn't need to be argued any further. In light of that, there's obviously just a few key points within the Constitution, right? Can the president appoint or transfer power, relating to the first point, and then the second point is sort of related to was Bob president, which is a little bit more of a vague, given does Emperor Vader's statement mean that his presidency was only temporary? Was Bob, as a non-entity, capable of being president? And of course, relating back to the first point, was Bob even able to be president? But assuming all those are to be true, that Bob could be president, then it can be argued, I suppose, by the defendant that no, the president has not, in any case, rejected the demands of the Emperor, right? Because the president, being Bob, never has rejected any claims of the Emperor, and therefore could not be impeached. Is that what I'm understanding from you, defendant?
Yes.
Okay. Do either of you have any other arguments you wish to make in regards to either those two issues or any additional points you'd like to bring up that might be related to the Constitution?
Give me just 1 second to confer with my co-counsel here.
Of course. I think I'm being attacked.
Oh my god. Good. I think PvP is off.
Yeah. Once you both have finished your arguments, I will have a few questions for both sides that I want to clarify in regards to the Constitution. So just be prepared for that. Yeah.
Understood.
For the record, if anyone's wondering, this courthouse does take place outside of the borders of any nation that I am aware of, and therefore any banishments or of such are perfectly legal because there is no no side has jurisdiction here.
Oh yes, we would like to. Sorry. Go on.
No, that was it. Go ahead.
Okay. Prosecution. Any further?
Yes.
Any further words?
Yes. So, I would like to bring forth that Rexz argued with the Emperor during the debate that they can't appoint any in-government positions, and argued heavily against something that the defendant turned around and did. Just wanted to state that for the court.
Is that it?
So let me ask that, clarify that. You're saying that during the most recent presidential debate, Rexz
Yes.
Girls candidate as a candidate for president stated that no in-government positions can be created
Or appointed.
or appointed.
Yes, that is quite true.
Okay, interesting.
All right. I'm just gonna send this in the lore, like text VC text channel and in the Minecraft channel.
He's just sending it everything in all the channels. I have to read all these
It
channels.
shows not only Mr. Valentine purposefully recontextualizing his previous words or being unclear, and again his lack of clarity on the situation. And the same day, he said, "Wait, but you did transfer of power," which means that he recognizes the fact. And I would also, there we go. That's the message itself.
On the topic of clarity,
Yes.
can I bring up that, as I stated in Denribe's exhibit, I didn't know who Bob was. So, in my knowledge at the point of that message, I claimed that Rexz did transfer power to something because it was my understanding at the time that Bob was someone. However, now that I know that Bob, in the here and now, is nothing, then that statement would be irrelevant.
How so?
Due to lack of
just
clarity
explained it.
about the situation.
I just explained it. Should I say it again? I'll say it again.
Okay.
Oh,
Being ill-informed isn't an excuse. All right.
You used that as the same excuse earlier, so...
yeah.
As a testimony, Mr. Valentine's word is law, is it not?
Say that again?
Mr. Valentine's word is law, is it not?
That is correct.
Yeah, that's the Constitution.
So, Mr. Valentine directly saying, Bill, that power was in fact transferred, even after he said that power should have been gone back to my client.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying that even if Rexz constitutionally could not transfer power, you're saying that because the Emperor allowed it, it was legal.
Constitutionally, transferring could be done because nobody was appointed.
That I think that was an argument that the litigant brought up, right? Or maybe no, I guess no one brought it up. No, litigant never discussed it. Okay.
Discussed what? Can it be repeated?
The Constitution in section 1B limits the president cannot create or appoint any in-government positions, right? That has not been brought up by the litigant at all, as far as I know.
We did.
And
I'm quite sure I did bring it up
I
earlier.
would
I
like
did,
to
or-
also point
My
out
apologies.
that because we've actually pointed it out as the defense that nobody was appointed, so it didn't.
Well, if
break the
nobody
con-
was appointed, then the power didn't
Rexz
go
is-
anywhere, did it?
It
No.
went to nowhere. It went to nowhere. Transferred away from Rexz to nowhere.
Is that's not possible?
Well, it is with Bob. And also according to who?
So
You.
Denrai, you just said my word is the law.
Yeah.
So, if I retract the statement because I was not aware of it, who Bob was, that I said, wait, but you did transfer power, then it doesn't exist by law. And if I say that Bob doesn't exist, then Bob doesn't exist.
Can you repeat that?
You said my word is the law.
Yes.
So if I lawfully confirm what you just said, that Bob doesn't exist and cannot hold power, if I say what I just said there, which I just said, Bob cannot
As
hold
of right
power.
now, Bob cannot hold power.
Is that what you're
Not
literally saying?
during the time in which you made that
And-
demand, which you did say later
Let
that
me
you
finish.
did in fact transfer power.
Wait. My word is the law, Denrai, remember.
Yes.
So if I tell you to let me finish speaking, you lawfully you cannot
Are we
interrupt
within
me.
the rights of the? Are we within the Empire? No, we're not.
That's
We're
fair.
not?
That's why I can legally be here.
Yeah, within this courtroom, like, Den can speak, of course, and
That's right, but the room is given to the topic of the Republic, which
Correct.
is under the Empire.
Yeah.
And that's what we're speaking about. So,
Relevance?
Rexz never transferred power. That's now lawfully true.
As of right now. Not as of when you made that statement.
Well, by saying never, he means
I-
that it never happened in the past either.
I'm saying right now that what you just said is not true. And that is lawfully correct within the Republic and the Empire. Regardless of time.
oh, I need it. Oh, this my brain hurts.
Oh, time is regarded because you did not make that statement
These opinions
during the time.
must be taken account and respected.
So if you're going to regard time now,
Failure
then
to
why
enact
do you
the
not
demands
regard
can
the
result in
fact that I said
impeachment,
once this matter,
and the next
remember the
president
matter that
can
you brought up,
in line
Oh,
with
yes.
the-
is dealt with, then that power subsides. You don't
never
you don't
specified.
I don't need to specify something that's shown to everyone unless someone is has clarified in the room that they are blind, which no one at the time said they were.
Let me
Are you implying you don't have eyeballs?
let me just ask for order in the court. That line probably goes a little bit too far, Emperor. Are you stating right now, regardless of any of the arguments, that Bob does not exist and cannot hold power? Is that what you're stating now?
I state that over the
You
word
cannot
now,
change the past.
I state that is universally true.
Okay, I will assume the answer for that is yes. Okay.
And we are making the point that you cannot, that retroactively declaring something is, I mean, that's just retconning at that point. You can't change the past.
It definitely is confusing, legally speaking.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. I agree. It is very confusing to say that Rexz can transfer power to something that doesn't exist, and then say the power is nowhere.
Yeah.
So that when I, and then not tell everyone who that person is.
Sir, if
Or
I
what the-
may.
Yeah, go for it.
So, as you've said yourself, the power transfer went nowhere, correct?
Yes.
Rexz transferred her power to nowhere.
To Bob, who is nowhere, nothing.
Right. So that would mean the president position is vacant?
No, Bob has it.
Well, if Bob is nothing and nowhere, then he can't hold that position.
Yeah, but Bob still holds it.
Then he must be a being.
No.
Then he
It
can't
said
hold
nowhere
it.
in the Constitution that a person has to exist, or entity, or anything has to exist.
Alright, let me just specify you what the meaning of nothing is. Literally nothing. Right? Something that is non-existent, that doesn't exist, cannot hold anything.
Yeah. Well,
If I don't have a hand,
hands hold.
I can't say that my hand is holding an apple.
Well, it can hold a non-existent apple.
So you're saying that the presidential power is non-existent? The presidential title is non-existent? That everything regarding the president is
That's an
non-existent?
interesting perspective, but no, the presidential title
Oh man, my head.
is to whom it was transferred to. That being Bob. It's very simple.
It is, in fact, not. As you're trying to state that Bob is at the same time nothing, but can also hold something that is a something.
Okay.
I would also like to argue that a title is in a similar vein of being not really anything. It's not a physical object, it's a title. You can give nothing
Oh
a title.
man. Oh man.
Can you not? Like, I can
Yeah, you-
declare nothing as being, viable. A president of whatever I made up. Right.
I'm going to go ahead and just stop this argument here.
It's a
we're-
construct.
if we're it's a little philosophical to start arguing about what something or nothing can mean, and this court is neither qualified nor legally charged to decide such a question in on that basis. But I'm going to ask a series of questions to you to clarify certain ideas, if that is okay. Let me just get that for a second. That is yeah, that was really confusing. Yeah, I'm gonna bring some questions up here, and I'm going to we'll see what these guys have to say, because some of this is it's pretty crazy. Let's go ahead. Oh, sorry. That's not what I want. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Both of you have agreed to the key fact that a demand was made of Rexz Girls, and Rexz Girls denied that. I appreciate that we at least established that fact. I have a question. If do you I imagine, defendant, that you consider the fact that appointing Bob to presidency does not count as an in-government position or appointment, correct?
It just, yes. Creation of a position, I mean, it's the president, it's already been done. The appointment, nobody was appointed.
Okay, you're saying that nobody was appointed.
Yes.
A litigant, I imagine you disagree, that you're saying that the appointment of Bob would be a violation of the Constitution.
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay. Defendant, you're saying that even if that were the case, the allowance by Emperor Vader, as displayed in that clip, would count as be overriding that part of the Constitution. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, not only displayed in that clip, but also afterwards, rendering what I'm assuming you're going to guess the... Oh, sorry. Assuming what I'm going to assume you're going to ask the prosecution.
I
The
don't...
message. I'm sorry. The message that was sent in Minecraft chat. Not in in-game chat, but
I don't have Minecraft chat up. Oh, you mean like the Discord?
Not in in Discord. In Discord Minecraft chat. Sorry.
Okay.
Where Mr. Valentine acknowledges that power was in fact has been in fact transferred, spoken in the present tense. Wait, but you did transfer power.
I see. Yes.
That's
And-
past tense.
It seems like a recent past tense.
And I guess litigants, do you agree that power was transferred but only temporary, as stated before by Emperor Vader, for about 20 minutes during the entire... fiasco.
Yes. Yes, it was temporarily transferred, as he very clearly said in the clip brought up as evidence.
Okay. So we can then, both sides can agree that for a portion of time, which can be argued how much time, Bob was president. Yes?
Subjective on the amount of time, yes.
Subjective to amount of time. Subjective.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Wait, in regards to the transfer being made, if there was one, which there was not, there was no transfer because there was nothing to transfer.
I see. So you're making both arguments. You're saying Bob
yes,
couldn't be
but-
transferred, but if it was the case, it was only temporary.
Exactly.
I see. Okay. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I clarify. I understand all the arguments. Okay. Litigant, you stated both now and previously that Bob cannot hold power. You know, is that what you're saying?
That is correct.
And defendant, I imagine that you're saying that that statement was not made until now.
Yes.
Okay. Litigant, I have an interesting follow-up question to you. If Bob were president, are you impeaching them as well?
That is accurate, yes.
And what are you impeaching them over?
The fact that they cannot be president, which I stated.
Right. You're saying that you've made a decree as emperor, as a representative of the Chicken Empire, and therefore they must follow your will, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
By the Constitution.
This is defendant. This is a very recent thing. Do you have anything you want to say about a challenge about that now?
What are you?
If the emperor stated now that Bob cannot be president, do you have anything you would like to state about that?
Then that was declared just now.
If that was declared, yeah, about that this specific thing now, yeah.
During the time at which my client was asked, that was not declared.
Right, but I'm asking specifically about this current situation now.
So now, if okay, can you repeat the question?
If the emperor, which you did say in fact that Bob cannot be president and cannot exist now, do you have any response to that?
No. If he declares and so wishes that a certain person cannot be president, then going forward they cannot be president.
Okay.
That would be the.
My follow-up question then to that, assuming, and we're just talking about this very specific subject, I haven't decided everything else. Who is president then?
Rexz
Nobody.
girls.
Because, like I said, going forward. Because who was president, that would be Bob.
That's not true. Bob doesn't exist. And they can't hold power. And they can't hold power.
According to you just now.
Yeah. Which makes it fact.
It's not retroactive.
Is that
because-
relevant?
Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Nowhere is it written that the time I say something impacts the validity of it. Regardless of whether or not Bob can hold power, though, Bob doesn't have power roughly 20 minutes after the events of the ball, as we already established.
You still declared days later that Bob
It was shown
power
on stream that
power was-
that the issue was dealt with.
Your Honor,
still
to clarify,
Yes, please go ahead.
my client here did state that the power transfer did happen, but nowhere did he state that the person that power was transferred to still held power at that time in the evidence that Mr. Meme brought up.
Okay.
He only confirmed that the power transfer happened. He never said that Bob still held the power.
Okay.
And he never declared that power was transferred back.
He declared that Bob's power was temporary until this was dealt with. And this, in that context, referred to a specific situation happening at that current moment, which was swiftly dealt with after him saying that, which means Bob didn't hold the presidency after that.
I also want to bring up
Yes.
the president. We already talked about this, but I just want to bring it up again, just so the defense is aware. The president cannot create or appoint any in-government positions, and a transfer of power is appointing that person to that position, because you're stating that they have presidential power, which is the presidential seat. So that can't happen by the Constitution anyway. So regardless of who is the president or who isn't, both parties here, whether it be Bob or Rexz, committed a constitutional dereliction of duty, or whatever you'd like to call it, a breach of the Constitution.
So you can agree that Bob, as president, could be impeached due to your demand?
Bob is not currently the president, so they can't be impeached unless you can establish that they are the president, in which case they can, but Rexz is the president right now.
Although you did state earlier, as I've asked, that you would be impeaching Bob if Bob were president. Is that correct?
If Bob were president, but that is a figment of your
Right.
interpretation.
Right.
So, yeah.
Do you defendant? Do you have anything you'd like to? Not that you're the defendant for Rexz Girls, but if Bob as a non-entity doesn't have any theoretical say in these affairs, if Bob were to be impeached, do you have any defense on that?
I'm not Bob's representative lawyer.
Okay. I figured that would be the case. I just wanted to just check with you. Okay.
But
That's
I
fine.
would also like to clarify that if Bob is invalid for presidency, then how come Bob could join the ballots for 2 whole terms, despite being very, very clear that Bob was non-existent?
Oh, well, that's simply no one
You
cared to
cut out.
intervene. Yes, that is simply because no one cared to intervene at that current moment.
Okay. I think I've heard all the arguments that can be made. Does either side have any further arguments that they wish to bring up that wasn't discussed earlier?
No, Your Honor. The only thing I would like to say is I urge you to think carefully before reaching your verdict.
Well,
okay?
let me. We're gonna get the closing statements in a second, Counselor. So, why don't you save that for that? Given that neither side has anything else to bring up, and that Bob with no representation has no representation, I will go ahead with those arguments. So, litigant, you may go ahead and start with your closing argument.
All right. Give me just 1 second to find it here.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, I deafened his family member.
Oh, did you want to
Just-
bring up something?
yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it was
David
acted
Sixty.
on the current moment.
I'm sorry. What?
The legitimacy of Bob's presidency or ability to hold president was only acted on at this current moment, or within the past hour.
Fair. I get what you're saying. You're saying it only occurred now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Counselor, you may go ahead and proceed with your closing argument.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, wait, give me a second. Fumbling my words. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask each and every one of you here to think about what we've shown you. The undisputable evidence cannot be ignored in the face of injustice. Rexz Girls has clearly been proven to have neglected her duty to fulfill the Emperor's demand as per the constitutional decree. an act which not only utterly disrespects the Emperor and his chicken imperial order, but also defiles the law of the Sioux Republic. Your Honor, we ask for the sensible decision in this case, a guilty verdict. Anything else would harm the nation greatly, all to allow a neglectful and irresponsible ruler not deserving of their title to enforce tyrannical, nonsensical authority over the good people of our land. Thank you, Your Honor.
Very well, defendant, your closing statement.
Yeah. Okay, so first off, we don't have it's the evidence is not indisputable. As clearly stated, we've never actually gone to a clarifying appointment besides what was evidently shown, that being Rex's denial to Mrs. Girl's denial to Mr. Valentine's request. Yet again, we still argue, and we will continue to argue, that my client was not president at the time, due to there being, again, no clarification toward Bob's presidency ending, shown with the lack thereof of clarity in the words of the Emperor and within the words of the Constitution. And so yeah.
Thank you. Oh, do you want to say more?
I was about to, but then
You can if you want, defendant.
oh yeah. A lot of the words in the opening and closing statements said by David are very, 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 very biased. Yeah.
Relevance.
Yeah,
That was a closing statement.
a closing statement can definitely be biased. Yes.
Oh yeah, well, I'm just pointing out the fact that he words his ways to be like that is harmful or anything like that. Yet it would probably impact very little.
Okay.
Well, that is not for you to declare.
I am going to take a brief recess to consider both your thoughts and to quickly reread the Constitution for your arguments, and then I will come and out and give you my verdict. So feel free to stand up a little, stretch your legs while I look at things.
All right, I will probably be doing something else.
Okay. Let me just kind of lay it out to you guys on what we're seeing here. This is kind of a straightforward case, honestly, but there are some nuances that are really interesting. Rexz, during the incident, during the ball, has basically said that I am transferring power to Bob. Bob is a non-existent person, is an imaginary person. Think like imaginary friend or Bing Bong from Up, right? Bob doesn't exist. But Rexz is saying Bob transferred power. And then Noxie acknowledged that this power was transferred and has stated so in the court. Now Noxie says that's not possible now because Bob's non-existent, so Bob cannot be transferred power to. And Dan is arguing, saying, no, that is possible. One, Bob was allowed to run for election to be non-existent, and there's nothing in the Constitution he's saying that says that Bob's power can't be, Bob can't receive power. Noxie's also making the argument that the transfer of power was only temporary, like about 20 minutes or so. And then Rexz became president again. Dan is arguing that because that fact wasn't clearly stated among anyone, and that nobody really knew that was going on, that there's no way that Rexz was still president because nobody understood that to be the case, right? That's why he brought up the fact that the general public considered Bob to be president. Okay, so that's an argument to be made. If Rexz was indeed president, then it's pretty clear, probably, about the constitutional violations that Rexz denied. Both sides agree that Rexz rejected what Noxie demanded, and that would be impeachment, right? But the the question is now resolving more about whether Bob is president during the rejection or not. Okay. That's kind of the argument, right? I'm not going to go into like whether a person is existent or non-existent. That's a little philosophical. That's pretty crazy. It doesn't say that the president couldn't unappoint government including themselves. Correct. So I'm not sure if that was Gray, if that's a reasonable argument, because if President Rexz did transfer power to Bob and Bob became president, Bob, as an imaginary person, can't do anything, right? Bob cannot make decisions. Bob can't say so. Bob can't unappoint himself or herself or themself, right? And Rexz would no longer have the authority to do anything about the presidency. Does that make sense? So I don't know if that argument really is needed to say that, that someone can, it doesn't say anyone can unappoint themselves, but if you're saying that Rexz unappointed themselves first and then gave it to Bob Rexz, by the very fact of giving up power, Rexz wouldn't have the power to give it to someone else. Does that make sense? Uh-oh. How did I end up in the dungeon? Can I get back up here? Nope. I got dungeon-fied. Okay. The real interesting thing I want, the real interesting argument, of course, is whether or not in regards to that, can Rexz appoint Bob? And yes or no? And if so, did Noxie acknowledge that? How did I end up in the dungeon? How did I end up down here? Where in the world am I? Gooford is like, help! Let me get you out of here. Let me get you back in. Okay. Oh, is this the? No, this is not right. Restricted access. Okay, I see where I am at. Okay. Does this lead to my judge chambers? Do the judge chambers go back here? No, this is just my chest. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think I know what my decision is going to be. It's going to be confusing.
Homemade cookies.
Very well. All rise.
All right.
Your Honor, may I approach the stand before you reach your verdict?
Very well. Everyone be seated. You may approach.
I urge you to think very, very carefully before reaching your verdict. For the sake of the nation.
I am, while as someone who is a member of this nation is concerned, my primary concern is the constitutionality of this case and whether or not, what is the legal outcome based on what the Constitution says. And I will follow that to its letter. Neither of you are going to be happy with my decision, in my opinion. I have rejected and accepted both of your arguments, and I will outline them here. To the argument that Rexz cannot transfer power to Bob, as per the Constitution, I will say, on her own, the presidency cannot do so. The president cannot appoint an in-government position, and the presidency is an in-government position. I will state that because it was allowed by Emperor Vader at the time, that overrides that restriction on the Constitution, because it's basically two constitutional clauses clashing with each other. So, in that sense, I will say that during that moment, power was transferred from President Rexz to President Bob. But only because Emperor Vader allowed it. Under any other circumstances, the president cannot do such an act. Okay. To the point that the presidency of Bob was only limited to about 20 minutes or so temporarily, I agree with the defendant that the timing of that was not clarified and that nobody knew that power was transferred back to Rexz because it wasn't communicated. Unfortunately, Emperor, we're not mind readers. We cannot determine how temporary it is. I know that in the video it was stated that It was only for a brief moment in time, but we don't know how brief that would be. And as such, Bob remained president for a good deal longer. As such, when Emperor Vader made a demand on Rexz to support the Empire against the war against OMS and the Woodland Nation, Rexz was no longer president at the time. Okay. However, in regards to what has developed during this court case, Emperor Vader has made a statement that Bob is non-existent and cannot be president, and is thus under impeachment for that reason. Bob has no defense counsel, being non-existent, and no one has stood up for Bob and as such, I will agree that Bob is in fact impeached because Bob is one, in violation of existence as determined by the Emperor, and two, removed as directed by the Emperor. Okay. As such, there is a vacancy in the presidency. I disagree with what both of you have said on who should be president. The team, the litigants, has said that if Bob is not president, Rexz is president, and the defendants team says that if Bob isn't president, then no one is president. I disagree with both your premises. The Constitution says that if the president breaches the restrictions set forth by the Constitution, this fact will be brought forth by anyone to Kevin, as me, and if proven, which it has, the president will be impeached. What will happen to the impeached president is as follows. Kevin will remove the president role from the impeached. Bob is no longer president. For the next 2 terms, the impeached cannot run. Bob cannot run for the next 2 terms. The runner-up of the election that term will be elected to fill out the term until the next election. The runner-up of the election, as defined by the Constitution, is Emperor Vader. That is the strict reading of the Constitution. The runner-up is generally conceived to be the second place individual of the election. The second place individual of the election is Emperor Vader. As such, Emperor Vader is the new president of the Republic. The Emperor, you may not run the next election for the next term. By the way, that is a restriction that is imposed upon you. Let's see, I believe that Rexz, you also cannot run for the next term, and for that matter, neither can Bob. So I don't know who's going to be president next term, but that is my reading of this Constitution. If the Constitution were written a little differently, as it's saying the person who with the most votes in the last election, but it was not impeached, would be the president, then that would be Rexz. But because the Constitution specifically states it's the runner-up, that would mean that Emperor Vader is the president. This means that the impeachment, that Rexz, you never were impeached, and you are not guilty of violating anything within the Constitution, but it does mean that Bob is in violation of the Constitution and power transfers to the Emperor.
Is that it?
That is the judgment of the court. Case dismissed.
Oh,
Thank you, Your
successfully
Honor.
defended Rexz,
Thank you,
and I'm
Your
not
Honor.
Bob's impeachment lawyer. Bye. Anyway,
We
win these.
David.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah.
Payment.
I like to think everyone's a
thank
winner.
Payment.
You're very generous. Thank you, sir.
If Deadlord and Ascendo are watching, I have your payment as well. Thank you for being my lawyer team.
You're very welcome.
And if anyone in House Valentine, or the
Everyone
High
wins.
Council is
I know,
watching,
everyone
feel
wins.
free to move into Kevin's castle whenever you would like to. If you want to work with the Republic as well, if you just want to stay in the jurisdiction of the Empire, that's completely fine. I will be personally
Watch the
moving to
potted
the
plants.
castle.
Watch the potted plants. They're very fragile.
Watch the potted plants. Military operatives of the Empire, be aware that we will be constructing a military office and armory behind Kevin's castle. That will be a primary
Ooh, bread. Thank you.
base for y'all during my presidency,
And cookies.
and
Ooh.
you will all operate out of there until the end of that term. I will state that in announcements as well.
What?
I like that
What
stuff.
were you
Am I
saying?
being bribed? I don't know. I guess it's afterwards.
I'll say it in announcements again later.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Justice Sue.
I'm not sure. To me, this is a weird situation where everyone quote unquote wins, but it is based on what everyone has stated. Rexz didn't do anything wrong, but you are still the president, so I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I'm pretty happy with that. I think Rexz should have been impeached because, you know, from my point of view,
Oh, you changed your name.
this Bob thing that apparently isn't a thing was not the president, but that's just my view.
I think if you had stated earlier that Rexz had the power again, then everything all the arguments would have been pretty straightforward, honestly. But nothing in the Constitution says that no one can be president. There is an amendment that's being discussed about that, but hasn't reached the ballot yet.
Oh, well, definitely should. Yeah. All right. Well, I do have a little bit more time, so I guess I might try to move into the castle now, maybe. Oh, Kaido said you let this Bob thing happen. Just a reminder, you allow this entire fiasco to occur, Noxie, where you gave permission on stream because of your neglect to stay informed. Curious that you say I neglect to stay informed when I have CIA operatives around the entire server.
Ooh.
And
that's
something
concerning.
that doesn't exist
CIA operatives
cannot be observed. So that doesn't really make sense to me. But, to each their own. I gave permission for something for a limited period of time. That was clearly stated as well. Regardless of the justice's point of view or the Constitution's view of
The
it,
Constitution is
it remains true. It's not a false statement. So yeah. Pillar is sideways. What Aqua?
Okay, bye,
I don't know what
Crystal.
you meant by
Good
that.
to see
You
you.
know,
Yeah.
Mr. Emperor.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, you said you're gonna move into the castle now, right?
For my term, yes.
Yes. Would you like to have a small conversation on your way to do that?
Yeah, sure. Let me go to Kevin's village real quick.
Yes.
Rexz, how do you feel about the outcome?
I'm actually pretty good about the outcome. This
You
is exactly what we wanted in the outcome. It's exactly what our point was and what we were trying to fight for. So thankfully Den and Kaido were great lawyers and as such. And we got what we wanted.
but you are no longer president and the Emperor is. Does that not concern you?
Well, of course, the Emperor being president is, of course, concerning. It's what I didn't want to happen when I was president. That's why I wanted the transfership of presidency to Bob, as Kaida said, an ill-informed president now at that. But,
Oh dear. Kyle, you're gonna get on the Emperor's naughty list.
It's not exact what we would have wanted. Of course, we would want Bob to be president. Really, this whole thing in the end, Bob was gonna be president.
And Bob,
I ran
And Bob was president for a few weeks.
For a decent bit. I ran to make sure I can get a few things done, make sure the people are safe, and then give the power off to Bob to ensure the people are safer with Bob. Sadly, can't stay with Bob, but it was never intended I would be president after this, or president for a long time.
Are you concerned what Emperor Vader might be doing with the Republic? I mean, he's moving his family into the castle. They're going to be building that outpost right outside. It sounds a little controlling.
It's infringing, of course, and controlling. However, at this point, I can't do anything. There is physically no way, and literally no way, and speaking no way. I can't convince him to do anything. It seems like he's far gone in this case. I cannot, of course, fight for this, as I do not possess any power in any sort of fighting. And I mean, if he's set in his ways, technically he is my adoptive father, so there is not a lot of room that I can use to fight against him like that.
Fair enough. May I ask one other thing? Is that a Team Rocket R on your outfit?
Yes, it is. Den, Kaido, and I, of course,
Kaido,
are
come
a
over here.
very strong group. And, of course, we had
You also
the
have
great
it.
idea to match today in court to show as a at least strong and connected group.
That makes sense.
Whereas the Empire had various wardrobes of clothing, like David's yellow tuxedo, and I mean, I feel like
it was a suit.
Your head, David, blended in with the carpet.
Yeah.
Are you making
it
fun
felt
of
like
the
a
color of
walking-
my head?
I'm just saying, it's something I
It felt
noticed.
it felt like a walking suit at points, just by itself. I mean, and as David said, David is
Well,
Bob the
me.
tomato from VeggieTales.
Wait, you're saying I'm Bob? I'm
I
Bob.
know.
He's Bob the
No,
tomato.
the tomato from VeggieTales, David.
Yeah, man, that makes sense. Yeah.
But as David said that Den's outfit was attiring, David's outfit was flattering. I apologize. David's outfit was much less flattering. I believe
Excuse
as
me, I was
Team
wearing a suit.
Rocket, us Team Rocket trio decided to choose a decent set of clothings to bring with at least unified stuff on it. Or a unified, at least, symbolism between it.
I can see that. I can see that. Well, whether it's the outfits or the arguments or both worked, you've successfully made your case. I think if Noxie hadn't brought up that part about taking on Bob at the end there, I think you would have been president again because he did say power transferred back to you, but or something. I don't know. But Bob is impeached. It would have been confusing. I would have been confused actually. It was over. This is why I was right about the Constitution, and my original would have prevented this entire fiasco from happening. But no one wants that, right, Gooford? Exactly. We have protections for the trees and everything in the Constitution. Balance of powers, separation of the branches. Yeah, I mean, I think that honestly, Gooford, you might be the next president because I'm Rexz and Noxie and
Gooford,
Bob can't run.
Buford, I support you if you ran next presidency. I'd support you.
There's like no, there aren't many candidates left. Gooford, you got this. You got this. David might oppose you though. David might not like you as president. David wants to kill all the trees.
Excuse me.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No.
Okay. Well, congratulations on winning, I suppose.
Thank you.
This is so weird. This is so weird. I expected like one side to win. I didn't expect like everyone to win. I don't know. I don't know how I
Hey,
feel about
we
them.
had a good argument thanks to Denrev and Cardo.
Yeah, I think you guys had solid arguments, and Kaido, especially your what you've written in the chats. I honestly, you have a great legal mind. You really do have a solid mind for the law. You could if you're not already, you could be a lawyer in real life. Honestly, I do think so. You have that ability. Your arguments on your team were definitely more solid than what the litigant side were. It just the litigant had more of the legal hammer, as it were, because of Emperor Vader. Right, the Constitution saying that he could do anything kind of negates a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I liked it. You're good arguments. Okay, I will see you guys later. I'm gonna go see what's happening at the castle. I'm worried.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Good job. Good job, Gooford.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. How do I get out of here? Ah! Did you know that there's like a trap door underneath in the office up there? Do you see? You want to see? Want to see?
Yeah.
There's a trap door. There's a trap door here. You know what happened? I got thrown into this trap door. I fell down, and then I was like, well, now what do I do? And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just go, because this doesn't even go up. This doesn't even go up to, like, get you back up there. So you're just kind of, like, stuck down here. And then I don't even know what this is. Like, this is just, like, Rainbow Road or something. Oh, I think I died. Wow, this doesn't even go anywhere. I thought this went somewhere. Cannon death. So that's why I came in through the side door. I'm like, well, now what? Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go over to Minecraft Hangout, guys. So see you guys in Minecraft Hangout. I'm going to Minecraft Hangout.
Okay.
Yeah, actually.
Wait, it still says I'm in the lore channel on Discord. Even though
Hello,
I'm-
Kevin.
Hello.
Hey Kevin, we're having a very intense standoff in front of the castle.
Oh, I want to see.
Oh yes.
You know,
Yeah,
Cat, you kind of need to just get out of here.
I don't
No,
know why
I'm-
it says I'm in the lore.
I'm-
The lore channel still.
It's a free republic, isn't it, David?
Well, as Noxie is the president, and the president doesn't want you here.
Like
can't
Grace
be-
said, only one of our members. We only had one casualty on our team as well.
You didn't. You had many casualties.
On our in OMS, we only had one casualty.
I mean,
really,
your
and
side
that's
still
pretty-
lost a lot of people. Like,
According to Gray, the person that was there. So
that's
Wow.
alright. I mean, it's still your side taking casualties.
There's a lot of armed people over here.
yeah. Hi, Kevin.
Yes.
Hi. You're on the
well,
right
you
side,
see-
Kevin.
Well, you see,
No, Kevin,
Kevin,
you need to
I-
get
I-
over here for
I'm-
sure.
I
Kevin, I
just
recommend you get over here.
I just wanted to get a better vantage point to kind of look at what's going on.
That's fair. That's
See,
fair.
Kevin, what is happening over here is these trespassers are standing in front of the castle.
Are we in the castle? I didn't know we were
I
inside.
said in front. I said in
but-
front.
Is the castle private property?
Yes.
Is it now?
Yes, it is.
The Emperor just said it is. That means it is.
Show me your land claims.
I don't need one. I'm the emperor and the president.
So then what authority do you have to declare this as public space? This castle is not even intended for the
Authority.
president. The castle is intended as a public place, like a town hall.
We're gonna have to
for
update the faces.
multiple different.
No.
peoples
Let
of
me
the
show you where
government.
the town hall is. Come with me. I'll show you where the town hall is.
All right, bye, David. Anyway,
No. This is not intended as a town hall. There's a designated town hall over there. Sorry,
exactly.
Over
So,
there.
so what is the role of the castle that makes it private?
I-
I
castle.
don't. I do not care to argue on the
I don't either.
the verbiage or language of what authority
Is verbiage a word?
I may or may not.
I guess so.
I
yeah.
don't
word?
care.
What?
I
I
think
want
so.
you and your people to leave
Why is that?
because
And
you attack my people.
Well,
I
your
mean,
people
it's
attacked
not-
my people. Your people attacked my people first.
hint, he's
Well,
the president. You kind of have to get out of here now.
I don't think the president has
Yeah,
the
that's true.
authority to do that. I think the president.
Yes,
makes
he does.
decisions
By the
for-
Constitution, he does.
The president's
Oh,
given
does?
like a lot of power. Carte blanche, really.
Whose idea was that?
I know, right?
Den
Then
Ribes.
Okay, I need to have a talk with Dan. Anyway,
Yeah, you do. You go do that.
Royal
I got
backup.
business here.
You could do so much.
it's nice,
Do we need to
nice-
do we need to open hostilities right now, or are you gonna leave?
Depends on how hostile you're gonna be. You can be a role model for your nation, the new nation you lead.
New
and
nation.
be
I've been
democratic.
leading nations way longer than you've been leading anything.
Oh,
No, I'm talking
I'm
about the
old.
Sioux Republic. I just started leading the Sioux Republic. Bro, you got the position like 2 minutes ago.
And I won the war
Well,
against them
technically,
like a
it's
year
held
ago.
power here for like.
They've been my
10,
vassal
12
for a
months.
year. In fact,
Yeah.
you were you were allowed to have power.
Noxie, I mean officially, just so you know.
You talk about a role model. I allowed you to be president here. I allowed that. What do you think would have happened if I hadn't? You think
Nothing. Probably same thing would have happened, you know? Because here's the thing.
Same thing. I would have started a war with them again and then beaten them again.
Here's the thing.
Right.
All right. Here's the thing. OMS isn't just a group of people. It's an ideal, right? We fight for the ideal of not having one person by the name of Popcorn Vader 21 stomp on us consistently.
Who's Popcorn Vader 21?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me? And we fight and live by that. We do not get stomped on easily. All right, we fight every day. All right,
Well,
and
If your fight is with Popcorn Vader 21, then why are you fighting with Rexz Quarters Valentine?
anyway, so
Blatantly ignoring my argument.
okay, well, I'm fighting with Nerixius Cordus Valentine
Because
he has been notorious for stomping all over innocent people
Oh,
from the day of the Red Wedding, from when he got power in the Chicken Empire from the very beginning. He has been stomping over the people not only that he's reigned over, but the people he's come across of multiple different nations. And this can be seen for Rivers Woodland Nation. This can be seen for OMS. This can be seen from the Sioux Republic. You know, so many different
Chicken
nations.
Empire members if they feel stomped on.
If anyone was recording that, can you clip it and send it to me? I'm going to use it on my advertisement for why people should join the Empire.
What? So they can fight for a nation that doesn't do anything beyond abuse its power?
So they can fight for abuse our power. We're an empire.
The Empire.
That is our right.
Did someone record that?
We. Go for it.
All right.
I've preached it. Can someone
that's
get
true.
this writing queen out of my face? Anyways, stomping on people.
Is that too aggressive for you? Is that not your taste?
No, that's exactly what I've done. You couldn't have worded it better myself.
Oh.
It reminds me of a time right before the Red Wedding. I think I was sitting on the throne in the Imperial Palace, and days after days after days, I was dropped many carcasses and information of chickens being slaughtered on this land, and here we are a year and a half later or more, and I'm now in control and leading that land. So I'd say
so now the blood is on your hands then.
I'd say that for anyone who you would argue shouldn't join the Empire because we're evil or we don't provide for anyone, I think the people who are under me and under the Empire gain more and are more secure than anyone else on the entire server.
Noxie, do I need to remind you of the good old days, the mercenary days, maybe? I can tell you for a fact that there are holes in that argument, because I was there myself. Don't you dare forget that.
I'm sure. Yeah, I know you were there, but I mean, you were a mercenary. You weren't exactly immersed in our nation. You weren't a citizen.
Well, when it comes to militarily, I did all the same things. I was at the Red Wedding. I was at the Red Wedding, all right? And half the people, not even half, 90% of the people that are in your nation now have barely heard of it. All right, I've been there from the start.
Have barely heard of what?
The Red Wedding.
The Red Wedding.
And?
All right, just because they're treated well doesn't mean they know what they're being treated for.
I tell everyone when they join the Empire what we are, what we stand for, what we've done. So who are you asking?
Well, I mean, last time I talked to one of your members, they were like, "What do you mean that didn't happen?"
Which member?
Red.
I don't know.
Did you give them the context of why
This is
that
so
happened? Or did you
confusing.
leave that out?
Who's
I don't know.
winning?
You said you would.
Who's losing?
You just said that you would tell them about it. Isn't that not?
Yeah,
is that not what you just
tell-
said?
I did. Red. I told you about it, didn't I? Is Red here?
Red?
He's
Red?
over there. Hi, Red.
Yeah.
Red, you remember when we were talking about the Red Wedding, and you were like, "No, that didn't happen."
Explanation for that. Oh no! Give me my sword back.
Wait, David.
Gray,
let
I
me-
accidentally threw my sword. Can I please have that back?
Who has David's sword?
Gray.
Gray, give him his sword back.
Thank you. Thank you. But I have a very, very simple explanation. You see,
Okay.
Red here has
that
a
is
very
red, that is
certain
correct.
form
Kaido
of an amnesia.
Kaido's
I
making
don't.
laps.
No,
Right,
no,
Red?
he doesn't. No, he doesn't. That is not
Are you
true.
abusing? Wait, what?
He does not have
Yeah,
amnesia.
yeah,
I remember
exactly.
that
He even
because
forgot that he has a certain type of amnesia.
how did I don't think that's something you really. I mean, I fell off a cliff this one time. What cliff
Exactly.
was it? What,
He doesn't remember
He doesn't. He doesn't remember.
No.
Then how does he know he fell off a cliff?
because I told him.
Because you told him. Wouldn't
Yeah,
he
I
have
was
forgotten that too?
Relevance.
This isn't a court case. You don't get to do that.
Yeah.
It's over. The court's case over.
Exactly. I can I can say the most irrelevant things if I want to, but I'm not going to.
I fully informed Red of what we were, regardless of whether or not they remember. And if they don't remember, they're free to ask me whenever they want.
Let's see.
What all we've done and
Let's
what we
see.
stand for.
Members of the Empire that are present today, specifically Sus Chicken Man, Red, whoever, Mr. Immense, even. Do you understand how the Empire rose to be?
Yes.
Yep. Do you understand the amount of casualties they caused and took?
Absolutely.
And do you understand the moral obligations of it?
Yeah.
Implications as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, I know.
And do you also understand all of the innocent lives of the Empire and of the Sioux Republic that weren't fighting in the war, but that had to move, relocate, get injured, you know, that died for this war, for something that Noxie later admitted didn't even happen? Alright? Is that
Excuse
fair?
me, what are
Is
you
that
saying?
just?
What did I
What
say?
are you on
did not
about?
happen?
Noxie, you remember a while ago? Back when you were like, oh,
I'm very
the Empire
confused.
started because they're killing chickens? Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when you said it was a misunderstanding?
I remember someone saying it was a misunderstanding.
I remember someone being you.
That's
So
quite a
either
memory.
I am like Red
my
and have
client
dimension.
here, there's
You're
been
a lawyer, David.
suspicion.
Hold on, David.
David, out of the way.
David, step aside.
Where's David? Where's David?
Continue,
No matter
what were you
where
saying?
you're from.
Did you hear me? Do I have to
No,
read it?
can you say that again?
There's
Okay.
David.
Let me 1 sec. Let me redo that. Okay. All right. Remember back in the good old days? Well, no, they weren't that good. Okay. Remember back in the day
Good old days.
when you were telling everyone, oh, it was their fault. They were killing chickens. Remember that?
Right.
I distinctly also remember you saying that it was a misunderstanding, that they weren't killing your members. They weren't killing Chicken Empire members. They were killing the animal. Chicken's the animal. And that you personally had no care for that.
Hamrito propaganda.
Hamrito propaganda. Do you work for Hamrito? Did you make that propaganda? Because it was your voice in front of
It's
me.
not my voice.
I was talking to you. It was very much your voice.
It was not the case.
Is Dan arrive here?
Okay, guys, I think we're gonna get caught that. I don't know if this is gonna be resolved anytime soon between Emperor Vader and Awesome Cat. Definitely some disagreement. They're the two nations at war with each other. Awesome Cat leads OMS, and of course the Chicken Empire is the Chicken Empire, who now also have greater control of the Republic because Noxie is president. Honestly, this was a weird one because I think both sides won, which doesn't make any sense. Like, one, the Rex's team just wanted to show that Rexz didn't do anything wrong and wasn't impeached, and they successfully did that. But two, Emperor Vader just wanted to be president. So, like, both sides got what they wanted, even though they were, like, against each other. I'm like, I honestly, I couldn't have predicted this. This is not scripted. I said, here what we're doing. We have a court case. We're gonna follow legal procedure. We're gonna follow the Constitution. You guys are gonna make your arguments, and that's what it's gonna be, right? And then I just made my judgment based on like, okay, well, here's how I'm reading the Constitution, right? Rexz can't transfer power, except Noxie said she can. So it's like, okay, but Noxie wasn't clear that Bob wasn't president, so Bob was president, so therefore Rexy wasn't impeached. Like, it was very straightforward, honestly. As a legal case, it was like, this is exactly how it's supposed to be. This is how You know, the Constitution is very clear and laid out, you know, more or less, you know. Obviously, one could argue one way or the other if one were biased, but I was like, no, we're just going to do things fair. That's right. Who knows? Noxie's president. I mean, Noxie and David, they're like this. Gooford, they're like this. They're tight. They those trees might just be like, just might be gone. Who knows? Man, I certainly don't know. I'm gonna go ahead though, and we're gonna go ahead and raid a friend of ours for this stream. Their name is Claire. They're very, very kind. They're very, very good. They're good friends of ours. Give them lots of follow. Give them lots of love. They really are amazing. I'm gonna also, of course, play the end screen. So enjoy that. Take care. Thank you for being here. Next week there won't be a stream, but there will be a stream the following week. You can check the schedule for that. And just remember, guys, don't get impeached. Follow the law, you know. And don't get rid of good constitutions. Don't replace a good constitution with a less. Den's gonna hate me for this. A less good one. Individual's good to see you. I'll see you later. Take care. Have a good one. And have a good night. Bye bye.